So you had an issue.
I did.
Do you want to
I
do you want to share?
Yeah, I'll share. I mean, it was a photographer I didn't know.
Uh-oh.
It was like a family friend from Southern California. It was actually the sister of one of the bridesmaids, I found out, who was
Ah.
doing the photography and hired a local second shooter. And when it's someone I don't know and is not from the area, I still try to go in with
Closed
a
mind?
playing nice with others attitude. And I think part of it honestly is my video background,
Yeah,
because doing video, you have even more run-ins with photographers
sure.
because we've had that person that will step in front of your camera constantly
Yeah.
and just be all about themselves and constantly getting in your shot and whatever else. So we try really hard to play nice with others. And then from a DJ MC perspective, I know the potential. And so the bride had mentioned that the photographer wanted to do sunset pictures and they had checked the time and they were going to want to do them at 8 o'clock. So when I do a big timeline that's like 3 or 4 pages long. That is what the bride and I go back and forth on. And then I put everything in my script. I use it in a PowerPoint and I have that on my iPad. But then I also bring little small sheets, like maybe a quarter sheet, pocket size, of just the main points. I bring this printed on cardstock for all of the other vendors. So I give one to the caterer, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
highlight, what time dinner, toast, cake,
Yep.
things that affect them
Right.
are. And so I made sure that I updated my little ones to say, 8 o'clock sunset photos, and we were going to come back and do the garter and bouquet after that.
Mm-hmm.
And because we couldn't play past 9 because of a noise ordinance in the area. It was
Okay.
outdoor. And so we're sitting down, grabbing a quick bite to eat at a table that she had set up for the vendors and chatting with the photographer. And we were about ready to go cut the cake and get into the toast and all the other stuff. And the photographer says, right as we're about to finish that, well, since I'm leaving at 7:30 now, and I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, when did this happen? She goes, oh yeah, well the bride just called me this morning and asked me to come in earlier. So now I'm leaving at 7:30. So I was looking at your schedule that you gave me and I want to make sure that I get a few shots of open dancing, but that game thing that you have scheduled is in the way. So I just want you to do one open dance and then I'm out of here at 7:30, then you can go back and do whatever you want to do. As nicely as I could, I tried to fake a smile and I said, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Yeah.
She was just shocked that
So
I wasn't going to, and I said, no, I'm not going to get everyone out on the dance floor and then tell them they have to go sit down to do this game that the bride and groom planned. I go, I can't do that. I won't. And then she plays the, well, let's go talk to the bride card.
yeah.
And I said, okay. So we went over there, and the bride looked at her and said, no, the game's going to be really fun. That's more important to me. My videographers are staying, so they'll take care of shooting the open dancing. And I was like, yes, 3 points for Emily.
Nice.
But I
So
don't know. She was yeah.
episode 26. That's a really long open. Vickie gets so
That
passionate
was the
about these
story.
things that is just, it is what it is. I'm Gitomer certified advisor Mitch Taylor, along with my Creating Connections podcast personality partner. Say that 5 times fast.
I'm
Vickie
Vickie Musni.
Musni, yes.
You got me all aggravated again, having to like
Yeah, you're
relive
all
that
just like,
story.
ah, like this.
Ah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah,
And then she made the mistake of going and talking smack about me to my husband.
of course, because they always
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. That'd be
I,
fine if it was just like, if I was just the MC and he was just the DJ, but the fact that we're a husband and wife team, he's got my back.
you think? And so we have been accused at tailored weddings as well of not always playing nice with others. And I think anyone who stands for something will be accused of that at some point in their career. And that's okay. and I'll go back to Mark Farrell here a little bit. A wedding reception, by definition, is an entertainment function. If it was a food event, they'd have it at a nice restaurant and be out the door after 2 hours. If it was a photography event, you'd have it at a photography studio or outside amongst all nature's beauty, not in a reception tent outside or not at a beautiful venue. People are there to celebrate with the bride and groom. The job of the photographer is to capture the memories, and the videographer for that matter, capture the memories that are being created that night. Oh, who creates those memories? I forgot. It's the entertainment. In most cases, not all.
And in conjunction with the bride and groom.
Yes, and
it wasn't
their
just
wedding
me
party
saying,
and their family.
But it wasn't me saying, oh yeah, I want to do this. This is what I have planned.
Right.
It was, no, I've met with this couple many, many, many times over the last several months.
Right.
And we've had many conversations, even in the last week. And this is something they are excited about. They went out and bought props for.
Yeah.
And this is what they wanted. And it's very customized. And
because she thinks, or the photographer thinks, that they're the most important. Just like every other vendor does, including us, think we're the most important. You may or you may not be the most important. The photographer may be the most important. And that's okay too. I did a couple of models, they're New York City models, wedding down in Mackinac Island area on the coast of Lake Michigan. It was gorgeous. But when I arrived, I really quickly found that it was a photography event. That's what they wanted, and that's okay. They still wanted the reception to flow smoothly, but they definitely highlighted all the moments for photographic purposes. Nothing wrong with that. That's what the client wanted. But when respect is a two-way street, if someone jumps in front of what you're doing, then they should have the respect to ensure that they don't do that. And same thing with you. Don't jump in front of what someone else is doing. Videographer, photographer, caterer, whatever the case may be. Don't do it.
So we had this conversation though, and she was like, okay, I think she was definitely miffed that the bride didn't like, oh yeah, you should flip everything around. So we had planned, they were doing the game right after toast, and then we were going to do the mother-son, and in this case it was an uncle-daughter dance, or uncle-niece dance, because there wasn't a father-daughter dance. And that way then we had them out on the dance floor, and then we were going to transition to open dancing. So after toast, I introduced the game. The photographer walks up to me, taps me on the shoulder while I have mic in hand, and says, no, you need to switch that. We need to do those dances first. So
I've been there.
Yep. So as graciously as I could, I flipped the order at,
Oh, you're way nicer than me.
Because I was just trying to avoid any more of a scene than necessary.
Last time I checked, I'm the one with the microphone. You're not.
And she made sure she left before the game started.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, was 7:25.
Right.
And it wasn't a really long game. And it's 7:35. Everybody was on the dance floor for open dancing. But she would not wait 5 extra minutes to get that picture that she wanted, just to prove her point.
So what's more important? You leaving at your appropriate time. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about time too. I absolutely am all about time. I don't play very much longer after our specific end time. I might give my client an extra song.
Which was basically that's 5 minutes.
Right,
she would have had her shot if she really wanted it. So the photographer leaves, the dancing starts, the videographer it's a couple, husband and wife team, who also shoots photography. In fact, they actually did photography primarily, but were doing video for this wedding. When they realized what had happened, the husband switched and started shooting stills for the rest of the evening. So he ended up, kind of saving the day, which was great. And then we were getting up to, close to the end, and I was letting them know that I'm, going to be setting up for a last dance in about 15 minutes, and just to keep them in the loop. And he said, hey, would you mind if we did a all group picture
Yeah.
right before the last dance. I said, no, that's perfect. I'd love to, but I hadn't wanted to ask him for that because he wasn't really the photographer. He
Right.
was doing
Right.
video, but
Sure.
it worked out perfect. So right before introducing the last dance, and that way everybody that was there, came onto the dance floor. I had him already. I said, okay, which way do you want to shoot? He had a chair ready. It was pretty quick and easy. And then they were just like right there. We segued into the last dance, and it was beautiful. And they were so happy because every single person was on the floor. And sometimes you don't, even when you ask for it, you don't always get that much cooperation by
Yeah.
the end of the evening. Not
Yeah.
everybody will come out for the last
Sure.
dance, but it ended up being really fun, and it was like Bohemian Rhapsody, so everybody was singing, and
Yeah.
the
Sure.
whole outside the dance floor was they just made a big circle, and it ended up being really cool. So
It's
eh,
extremely important to work together for the common goal.
yes,
Too
and
often
I think that's what frustrated me about this
yeah.
photographer is that she was only focused on her goal, not what the
Yeah.
bride and groom wanted or what their guests were going to be
Right.
experiencing.
Too often, and this isn't just limited to photographers. Please
No,
don't think that. It's not. This is wedding
they're just the
planners,
easiest to pick
decorators.
on.
Well, wedding planners,
Sorry.
decorators, florists. My mom is a florist. I got nothing against
Mm-hmm.
florists.
Yep.
But anyone, limo people, I mean, it doesn't matter. When you're only focused on your goal and what you have to do and screw the outcome of the day, then that's not playing
Catering and
nice.
banquet staff, you kind of see that sometimes with them too.
Yeah, totally. And to
Yeah.
me, it's got to,
And videographers can be that way because often,
absolutely.
because of budgets, they're told, oh, we're only going to have you for 3 hours or
Yeah.
whatever. And so they'll be like, could you hurry up and do the bouquet and garter? Because I'm going
Hmm.
to leave as soon as that's over.
Or they flood the dance floor with those really bright lights and no one wants to dance and they scatter like bugs. So the reality is that we all need to work together. So whatever that common goal is that Amy and Brock have for their wedding day, or that was the bride who just called me, whatever they have for a goal for their wedding day, you have to work towards that common goal, whatever it is. And too often, venues are notorious for, well, yeah, we could fit that many people in. Yeah, for all sardines, it might work.
Yeah.
Again, you got to look at the big picture. I tell my clients, we take a 30,000-foot view of your reception and oversee the entire thing to make sure it's a success.
Yeah.
Because the photographer doesn't stay there at the end of the night, your banquet staff doesn't stay there at the end of the night. Who is taking responsibility for the success of your reception? That's the question.
The only one left at the end of the night.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what's going on.
So, do you approach things differently? Be honest. If it's
Yeah.
a vendor that you are never going to work with again versus someone that's local in your market that you're going to have to interact with. Because part of me was just like, I just gonna let it go. I'm never going to see her again.
Not necessarily.
I tried to make nice in the sense that I didn't want to make a scene in front of anybody, and I still wanted my clients to be happy. But I didn't go out of my way to, follow up with her
Not
afterwards or try to make amends or anything. Because
not necessarily. We send out a thank you email to every single vendor we work with, every single wedding pro we work with after the event. It's an automatic send email from DJ Event Planner, thanking them for working with us and everything else. And then I think referrals can come from anywhere. So just like you shouldn't judge a bride by her cover, don't judge a wedding pro by their cover either. And referrals can come from anywhere. You don't know. I mean, yeah, is the likelihood of me getting a referral from someone completely out of town? Probably not.
someone
But
completely out of town who thinks I'm a diva and didn't like working with me.
well, you are a diva.
Sorry.
No.
Not everybody knows that. Okay, well, yeah, everybody
Normally, it
does.
takes people at least a few hours to find that out. Much less in regards to 13 minutes of a podcast. No. So we stumbled upon a thread recently.
Yes, and it came up right on the heels of me having a good experience with this fill-in photographer who set up, my last dance for me beautifully,
Okay.
by requesting that I do a group photo. And yeah, do you have the thread in front of you, the original question? Or do you want to just paraphrase it?
We'll paraphrase it.
Okay.
I'm pulling it up here right now.
Okay.
So the question is, you know, the DJ being proactive,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a key part of this, and asking a photographer, would you like to do a group photo and open the dance floor with a song that keeps everybody there? And the bride saying, yeah, that's a great idea. And the photographer, group photos are dumb and they don't
That's
represent
not, yeah.
my quality of work. And, you know, telling the bride that they will not do a group photo. And then the bride acquiescing. And you have the power. You have the power of influence.
So
And
that was my response. I didn't think I showed you. My response was just, oh, that's okay. I'll take the photo for you.
yeah, well, you have the power of influence because, again, what's your relationship with your
Mm-hmm.
bride?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go off topic here a little bit.
Go for it.
I'm just riffing, and I
That's how we
apologize.
roll.
But
That's
this
not
this
new.
is your relationship with the bride, and if you have a phenomenal relationship with the bride, if you screw up once, she'll probably forgive you for it. Still refer you and have no issue,
Yep.
saying your name to the rooftops and on social media, because that happened to us on Saturday. We had a slight issue at one wedding. Music cut out at the tail end of the ceremony. When we're done, the recessional's playing and just cuts for a second, comes back on. Not sure what happened to the power source.
Sure.
And the bride raved about the job that Allison and Kayleen did on social media afterwards. She didn't bring up that once.
Nope.
Not once. Did a fellow guest bring it up to us? Yeah, once. And
There's always one.
that's a topic for another day. But
Mm-hmm.
I felt it was just, again, if you have that relationship with them, you can make a mistake and absolutely recover from it. If you do not have a relationship with them, if you're just, well, I'll call you the week before the wedding and I'll go over your names and tell me what you want to hear and I'll see you that night. I can't tell
Yeah.
you how many times on social media this year and even past years I've seen where DJs say, well, I don't know, I haven't got any information from the bride and groom and it's, the week before, the day before. Really? Dude, what are you doing? You're missing so many opportunities to get yourself peace of mind before going into the event,
Yeah.
but also
Seriously.
get referrals from this bride and groom before going into their event. You're missing a huge opportunity by not doing that, not building a relationship. Um, so again, if you
I
have
couldn't
that
even imagine.
relationship with the client,
Yeah.
then you're going to be able to talk to her and say, hey, this is probably a good idea. And more than likely, she'll side with you over the photographer. Now, it's not about pitting people against sides. That's not what this is
No,
about.
that's not the point.
That's not the point at all. This is about what's the best outcome for the bride. And maybe it isn't a group photo.
And the
And that's
groom and their
okay.
families.
Yes. Yes. And that's okay
But
if
if
it's
the
not a
bride
group photo.
says, I want that,
Right.
that should be our cue to make it happen.
That should be a cue
And
for
make
the,
it
yes.
happen in the best possible, classiest, most appropriate way we can.
Right. Because
And
last
even
time I
if the
checked.
photographer is such, a diva that he doesn't want to do that,
Yeah.
that's fine. He could have said, sure, yeah, do you want to elect someone to use your cell phone to, I don't
Right.
know. And
But if the bride wants the moment to happen, then make it happen as the fellow wedding pro. And I say this to my staff too. We're not above doing anything. If we need to go out pour champagne for the toast to happen, we'll go pour champagne for the toast to happen.
I set up all the centerpieces at this wedding that I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Our,
Because grandma was out there doing it while everybody else was at cocktail hour.
Yeah.
And let's face it, my husband is the DJ.
Mhm.
He was working cocktail hour. As the MC, I didn't have any official responsibilities during cocktail hour. So when I see grandma and cousin out there, that was fine. I was bonding with them.
There
so
are official responsibilities of the MC during cocktail hour, and that's a whole nother podcast. But
yeah,
but still, you saw an opportunity where
the
something
whole
had to be
time.
done, and you did it. And there's
they
nothing
needed help,
wrong
and
with
I
that.
knew how to do it.
Yes. We set up tables. We went and set up our event early on Friday for our Saturday wedding. We set up all their tables for the head table and dinner for them. It was a hall that's literally a blank slate. You walk in, you got to set up everything, right? So we did that for our client. Did I tell her we did that? No. But I say, oh, by the way, I set up all your tape. No. We just did it because that's what we do.
Because it needed to be done.
Yes.
And could do it. And it wasn't taking away from what else you were doing.
Right.
Adding to the overall value of what they were getting.
Yes. It was an extra half hour of time. And that extra half hour of time invested will now reap rewards with referrals in the future. That's what you got to look at. And yes, it's important to play nice with other wedding pros. Yes, you all have to work together for the common goal of whatever that event is. And sometimes you're not their priority, and that's okay. As long as you understand where you fall.
Even when we try to communicate ahead of time, things are, we're throwing curveballs, and you have to just roll with it.
Yeah. You got to roll with it. You got to be able to go with the flow. And if you need help with how to go with the flow, I strongly encourage improv classes or Toastmasters.
Yes.
You need to take one of those two, if not both, and those are good places to start. There's other coaching opportunities that will present itself to you in regards to those acumens that you need to know, going with the flow, but start there. Start with improv classes. Improv, the first rule is yes. You don't say no. I think I should take my wife to that class. No.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding, honey. It was a joke. My wife doesn't watch this podcast. Who am I kidding? No. Seriously, though, you want to make sure you take improv classes, take Toastmasters if you need help in regards to how to just go with the flow. Because, man, that's another whole topic we could talk about. But managing stress and how to deal with the weight of that event on your shoulders. That should be our next topic.
Okay.
All right. So that's episode.
Write that down because I'll forget.
Yeah. You should write it down. I do all the tech work here. Gitomer Certified Advisor, Mitch Taylor.
Certified Personality Trainer, Vickie Musni.
If you want more information about us, you can visit us on our websites, mitchtaylor.net or vickiemusni.com. And guess what?
They can come see us together. What?
1 week.
One more week?
1 week. Vegas,
1 week?
Baby.
Yep.
Las Vegas DJ show. We will be in Las Vegas. We'll do a live episode of Creating Connections podcast. It'll be episode 27.
And we'll have a Creating Connections booth at the Expo Hall.
Yes, so come see us at the Las Vegas DJ show, and we'll see you there. Bye-bye.
Can't wait. Bye.